quite up to par with how we would like our work to be presented. And I was talking with my coach about it, and he brought up a good point where he said, well, what you have to figure out is, is it something where the person in charge of delivering the work just doesn't have the capability, or is it just a system and you need to just adjust your process? They can actually deliver the work, but the process needs to change, and they just need to make sure that they're actually following the process. And it's kind of hard to understand the difference. I think, it requires like self-reflection and looking at the process and documenting the process. And, people in this world love to harp on about SOPs and documenting your processes. It really is very important, and we're actually going through a whole rework of all of our internal documentation for this right now because of this exact issue, where we want to make sure that if there's ever something that we feel like isn't up to par, that we can refer back to the SOP and say, all right, did this team member actually follow the SOP? If they did, and the product still wasn't up to par, then we have to go back and say, all right, is it just that this person doesn't have the skill set, or does the SOP actually need to be adjusted and there's something easy that could be changed? For example, like adding an additional internal review step so that someone else on the team puts eyes on a piece of work before we actually send it off to the client.